Hello, everybody. Welcome to another KMU Live podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggy, and joining me down there in Oklahoma and Kansas is Derek Relaford. How are you doing tonight, Derek?
Kansas now, buddy. I'm back in the great state.
Cool. Back in Kansas again.
Yeah, loving it. How you been this week?
Oh, just joyous. I think I mentioned it last week or maybe a week before that I had to go down to Wichita Monday and had an MRI on my heart to see whether or not they're going to have to do any kind of surgery on me. I'm still waiting on results. They said it could take up 2 weeks, so I don't know what's going on with that yet. Hopefully I'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Other than that, I took the rest of the week off from work just to kind of chill and relax and maybe do a few things around here that I need to do and stuff like that.
Well, Godspeed on your recovery. I mean, you've been kind of dealing with stuff for a little while, right?
A little while. Found out that I do have an aortic valve leak, and the MRI was to determine whether it was extensive enough to require surgery or not, which my ex-wife's got the same situation, and they have never done surgery on her for it. They've just continued to monitor. So hoping for the same results. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, Roxanne. Hey, Christopher. Hey, little brother.
Yeah. Real quick, me and Rick were talking before the show. He does have a Patreon account. Now, that's just it's typically a place where people can go and you become a patron of Ricky's, and that's Ricky by himself. I'm not connected to that. And you basically pledge like 1 to 3 to whatever you want, like monthly pledges to help him do what he does. Ricky works full time. He raises his kids, and he's also a pet parent, pretty involved pet parent and stuff. So Ricky's got a lot on his plate. Patreon's a place where you can go and you can make a monthly pledge and help Ricky do what he does. But me and Ricky were talking today earlier. He's like, I don't really have any patrons. And I was like, yeah, but we're not doing it right. So starting,
I have one.
Well, you have one patron. So starting this week, we're going to be uploading some like behind the scenes stuff to the Patreon throughout the week. Things that you're not going to see on Facebook, things you're not going to see on Ricky's TikTok, which is going to be a little bit more booming soon. So a lot of Ricky's socials are going to be more active as far as essentially just advertising for his show, trying to get more people to come watch his live stream, more people to share his flyers, more people to see the flyers he makes. So Ricky's going to tell you how to get to his Patreon real quick. And starting this week, it's going to be a lot more active. There hasn't been any posts. We just have sort of had it up for Ricky. And I want to apologize. I've been busy with my other stuff, and I haven't been, I haven't really started that venture. But Ricky, what is
We're all busy. We're all busy. The Patreon is patreon.com/ oh crap. Was it KMU Pod Live? Let me double check.
We'll look it up. Yeah, we'll look it up. But yeah, we'll even put it at the bottom of the screen.
KMU Live. KMU Live.
Patreon.com/KMU Live. So we will get that up and going. And we appreciate everybody that stops by the show every week and watches it, shares Ricky's flyers. There will be more happening on other platforms, more stuff on Facebook. It's going to be a lot more active, and we're going to have a heck of a show for you. Before we start showing flyers, Ricky, has there been any updates in national cases that you've been sort of paying attention to?
Well, we had one yesterday. It was an Amber Alert out of Topeka, 2-year-old little boy.
Okay.
And how it all went down was police were called to do a welfare check at a residence in Topeka. And they went there and they found 2 deceased individuals in the residence, which sparked the Amber Alert because the little boy was missing. And so the Amber Alert was issued, and not long after it was issued, the suspect and the baby were located in Mattoon, Illinois. The child was safe. He was arrested. Heck, hang on a second. And anyway, they were identified. The 2 deceased were identified as 29-year-old Ashley T. Brown, which was the little boy's mom, and then 55-year-old Sean E. Thornton, which, from what I understand, is the boy's grandfather. The suspect's name's Christopher Barnshaw. He's 32. His bond has been set for $10 million. He's charged with 2 counts of first degree murder, premeditation, off-grid felony, aggravated burglary of a dwelling, level 4 felony, and aggravated endangering of a child, level 9 felony, kidnapping, flight, or the commission of any crime, level 3 felony. Interestingly, one of my followers brought it to my attention that he has been following my page, and I discovered later that he's also been following Annette Lawless's page under his first name, but a different last name. I won't reveal the last name because I don't want people attacking him on his Facebook and stuff. But I went back and looked at all of his comments and stuff on his on the flyers he'd commented on the page, and they were all just basically random stuff about, well, I saw this person here and I saw this person there and blah, blah, blah. And there was one flyer in particular that he commented, says, I can't give any more than I have. I was drugged up against my will when I saw that, and I was likely time traveling. That said, I can guarantee she was murdered. Pretty bizarre comment. But, yeah. And I checked out his profile that he commented that from. He shares a lot of missing person stuff on there, a lot of religious stuff on there, some political stuff. But yeah, I'm seeing some people saying that he may have had some mental health issues and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know. It was definitely interesting to find out that he was one of my followers. I was like, oh my gosh. Not what I wanted to really hear, to know that a now charged murderer, the follower of Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Ugh. Kind of crazy stuff. You never know who's following your page, that's for sure.
Well, we talked the other week about how you never know, you're at a store, you might be sitting next to a killer or something. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, true.
So we got that Amber Alert. My kids have smartphones, and so they even text me. They're like, "Hey, there's an Amber Alert," and I was like, "Yeah, that's what I heard." So, yeah, that's pretty wild stuff, man.
Kind of, to me, was a little bit humorous, but my brother and I were messaging back and forth about the Amber Alert, and I made the comment to him in one of the messages that it was kind of strange that I hadn't got anything from KBI, and no KBI alert had come across my phone. And about a couple minutes later, my phone went off with the Amber Alert.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there it is.
Hey,
I did finally come across.
Not really missing persons related, and we're getting ready to start the show. Were you a fan of Ozzy at all, or?
I liked a couple of his songs, Crazy Train and Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah. One thing that I always, this is me being like dumb, I always kind of assumed that guy was like satanic.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was like, how I found out, I was watching that Jack Black rendition of Mr. Crowley. And so I started like deep diving it, and I was like, what's this song about? And it was basically about that Satanist Aleister Crowley, and Ozzy was basically, letting him know that he thought that was not good stuff, not good stuff to mess with. And
right.
I looked at, he's been quoted saying that he's actually very like anti-Satan. He said he used kind of like Alice Cooper. He said he used a lot of the clothing and themes, for showbiz, but he's like not a Satanist at all.
Right, and I've been reading and seeing stuff that he actually prayed before every show. I read lyrics to one of his songs, which really come across that he is a firm believer for sure. Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, he said he was a Christian. He said he prayed. He attended Sunday school for a time. So, I mean, it was surprising to see.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Ozzy.
Because, I mean, they always called him Prince of Darkness and everything. And he gained, I don't know what kind of notoriety you want to call it for. My brother can tell you the date and the show and everything. I think it was an Iowa show where he bit the head off of a bat and bit him back.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty wild, though.
Yeah. And the whole time, Sharon was standing by his side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie said
It's crazy.
making
Like, I
people
don't know.
think that sold albums for him. Yeah. And
Yeah. I saw
Roxanne says,
Roxanne Fisher.
yeah, said it was in the ICU for the last 3 months. Oh my gosh. Hope you're doing all right, Roxanne. Didn't realize you were in the ICU. But glad you're back home. And Ronnie's saying drugs are bad, Kay. Yeah, they are. Hey, Ellen, how you doing? Yeah, Chris, I'm praying for good results myself. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I'm feeling okay. I don't feel like there's anything wrong or anything. I feel fine. I mean, there's that. So we'll see. It's definitely
Well,
a
let's
hot.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely hot in the car. I mean, my daughter drove me down in her car and sat in the back seat on the way back, and the air circulation wasn't that great until I finally got stupid and spoke up and said, "Can you angle one of those vents up there to hit back here?" But I'm not kidding. By the time I got back home to Salina and back home to my apartment, the back of my shirt was soaked.
Jeez.
I had to take a shower. It's crazy. Yeah, I got some interesting out of state flyers in the show tonight. One of them I did last night because I ran across it, and it involves potential human trafficking, and I wanted to make sure to get that one done and posted because I wanted to spread awareness on that one because it sounds like a pretty bad deal. So that's in the out of state ones. I was going to tell you, if you look at the order of the flyers, there is a one that should have been in the cold case thing, but I had to make an update to it. And since StreamYard's done what they've done, and I can't move the flyers around like I used to be able to, it's at the bottom. So that needs to incorporate into the cold case section part.
Okay.
So, yeah, StreamYard, they're suffering from Facebook's if it's not broke, don't fix it syndrome.
All right, man. Well, I'll go ahead and start the show, and we will get into some cases. We'll be right back after this.
All right, you have that one there. Yeah, and real quick, the other celebrity death that kind of hit me out of left field was Malcolm Jamal Warner that played Theo Huxtable on the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And he accidental drowning down in Costa Rica on vacation with his daughter. Yeah. And this one here is, okay, we'll start off Mariana, Mary, Christian. I updated this with the tattoo picture. Somebody commented the tattoo pictures under her flyers, so I snagged them and added them to the flyer real fast. But she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since July 19, 2025. She's 31 years old, 4'11", 95 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen Saturday night on July 19th and hasn't been heard from or seen since. And she's 31, 4'11", weighs 95 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She has the below pictured tattoos, which is warrior and a cross. It's a cross with the word warrior in it. And then the other, and it's a big one on her back. It takes up quite a bit of the center of her back. Then the one on the right is the hummingbird behind her right ear. If you can see the full picture of the hummingbird, it's a reasonably fresh tattoo in the photo, so I'm not sure how old the photo is, but that's definitely a hummingbird. If you have any information regarding Mariana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Mariana located back to where she needs to be. And this is Gavin Gardner. He is missing from Wichita, Kansas as well since July 20th, 2025. 17, 5'8", 135 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. Don't have much information on him. So if you have any information regarding his disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Gavin located and back to where he needs to be. And I think somebody's knocking on my door. But my daughter is asleep in her room with the door shut.
You better go check it, man. You better go
Yeah.
check it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check. I will be right back. Give me just a second.
I will keep I will keep them
Mhm.
entertained. All right, Ricky's gonna run to the door. Check it out. We are live here. Chat. What's the weather like right now? I'm in Western Kansas. We got pretty cloudy, but it doesn't look like it's gonna rain right now. I can't see behind me. I can see in front of me and to the left of me right now at my front door. What's that song? Daft Punk. I'm looking for a song for. I'm uploading a TikTok. Sorry.
Okay.
You're good.
Sorry about that. Looking for my daughter, but I know it's not a cold case. It's only 3 days old, but I don't have another category for those cases, brother.
We can make a fourth category. Oh, that was just double T. Oh, we're good. I
No,
thought.
unfortunately, Rodney went to pizza. It was a visitor for my daughter, but I told him my daughter's asleep, which I don't really care for him anyway. He's only got one thing on his mind most of the time. And they're not even dating, but whatever. I want to have a long talk with him one of these days. All right, ready for the next one?
Oh, you already read that one. Okay, I didn't know if you read.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Heimer.
All
Wow.
right. And we're going to get back into Lori Heimer because I want to make sure that we keep her out there because as far as the police and local media, I did notice when I was subpoenaed to court the other day for my deal where the lady backed into my van while I was asleep, and honestly, I don't even know why they wanted me because I didn't even do anything. They asked me if I had restitution on my van, and so yeah, and so they had me hang around, make sure she pled and everything, and then I left. But anyway, they have the 48 most wanted thing on the wall inside the lobby there, the courthouse, and at the top of it, they're still running the Crime Stoppers Lori Heimer thing that they've been running since 2016. So anyway, this is Lori Heimer, unsolved murder, June 25th, 2016, out in Assyria, Kansas, out in the county there. She was brutally murdered in a rural Assyria home on June 25th, 2016. She ran her business, Lori's Poodle Patch, from her home. She was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. KBI was contacted to assist Saline County Sheriff's Office in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team. During the investigation, 2 vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle 1 was said to be an older flatbed pickup, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat up, maroon in color with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years old or older with salt and pepper hair. The vehicle 2 was an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevy S10, with a two-tone paint job, dark blue on the top and bottom with light blue in the middle, a silverback bumper, and a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck. The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up. There may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back. The driver of the second vehicle is described as a white male, approximately 40 years old, shoulder-length hair, and wearing glasses. Investigators have said they would like to locate these 2 vehicles. They would also like to speak to anyone that had any contact or a business appointment with Lori at any time between June 20th and 25th of 2016. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Lori J. Heimer, please call Saline County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463. There is a reward of $37,500 being offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Lori's murder. So if you have any information on her case at all, please call that in and see what we can do to help get her family some justice.
Did you get a chance to double check that reward?
I have not. There's so much going on. I have not.
Well, we know it's at least that much, but there's a chance it could be higher because I know that it's gone up a couple times since it's happened.
Yeah.
Rodney said pizza's here. Ricky wishes pizza was there.
Yeah.
Haley
and on the lower far, you can see I had the cold case playing card on the lower right corner there, and it alludes to the fact on the card that she was stabbed to death. So, I mean, that information is about the most current information that I've heard. So, This is Haley Davis, and I have seen where her brother recently reposted or reshared the interview that he did with Annette Lawless a little while ago, and still appealing for information. But she's missing from Salina, Kansas since July 21st, 2023. 19 when she's missing. She's now 21. 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. She left Salina, Kansas with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita, Kansas. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st. Wichita police say the investigation has led them to believe that Haley may be deceased. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 19. She's now 21. She's 5'6" to 5'7" and weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, her whereabouts, or the location of her remains, please call Detective Owen at 316-268-4185 or via email at aowen@wichita.gov. To remain anonymous, please contact Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111 or KBI at 785-296-4017 or 800-572-7463 and see what we can do to get Haley located and back home to her family.
And no updates either on that one?
No, like I said, I just saw that her brother Travis has reshared the interview that he did with Annette on his Facebook, and he himself is appealing to people that if they know anything to come forward so they can get her found.
Do you think he would do another interview with like you or me or both of us? Or
I'm sure he probably would. I just have to reach out to him and talk to him. And
I'd like to talk to him because I know you're busy. I'd like to interview him because I've been doing a. Last week I was telling you I was using that AI to look into some of the stuff, and I kind of decided not to read any more of that stuff out loud on the internet. But very interesting stuff. So I'd like to talk to some of these family members and just kind of check some of the information I'm finding using AI and see if there's anything that's even remotely close to the accurate as far as some of the things that they're saying is that seems like fact.
Right. Yeah. I know there's a lot of rumor going around and stuff like that. So, who knows? Okay. And this one's Dietrich Foster. He's been from Independence, Kansas since April 12th, 2020. He's 37 when he went missing. He's now 43. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020, and he was last seen around April 12th of 2020 in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Dietrich was 37. He's now 43. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He has a scar on his chest from heart surgery and a scar on the right side of his nose. He has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Dejeuner on his arm, and the word foo on his abdomen. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So again, if any information you have, no matter how small you think it might be, get it called in and let investigators determine whether it's something they need or not. Let them determine that. Don't try to determine it for them because they know what they're looking for and we don't. So
how have your comment sections been recently? Pretty tame?
Well, pretty mild. I'm still dealing with those stupid scam things where it says something about video was shot at the scene and they put up a stupid link. My brother says he thinks it's some kind of a phishing scam is what he thinks that is. But I delete and block them as soon as I see them. So, but yeah, I've seen other comments from people, saying check this area of town, check that area of town. And there's Bring Alex Crook Home. How you guys doing?
I got Joan up on the screen for you.
Okay, give me just a second here.
Oh, you were checking. Okay, I was making sure you weren't waiting on me.
I think... No. I'm just trying to get something loaded here real quick because I had a flyer up for a crook that we were going to cover, and then I found out some of the information on it is inaccurate. So I was sent a different flyer. So I want to use it. It's going to be in the out of state missing. So I just threw that in there real quickly. But we'll get back to Butler. And I put her up there again because I'm also going to get into a couple of the other people and that are considered victims in this situation as well. But this is Joan Marie Butler, missing from Overland Park, Kansas on June 18th, 1989. 24 when she went missing. She's now 60. 5'6", 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen during the early morning hours of June 18th, 1989, while she was out with friends in Overland Park, Kansas. She apparently made her home from there, as the clothes that she had been wearing that evening were found at her apartment where she lived alone. Evidence indicates Joan was surprised at her apartment. A half-eaten slice of toast, a half-smoked cigarette, and one contact lens were found at the residence, but Joan was missing, and so was her red or maroon Chevrolet Corsica rental car and approximately $900 from her bank account. Neighbors reported hearing a loud thud in the vicinity at approximately 4:30 in the morning on the day Joan vanished. Joan's vehicle was found parked at an apartment complex in Lenexa, Kansas on June 25th. There's that date again. As authorities were arriving, a man approached the Corsica and opened the trunk. When he realized the police were approaching, he shut the trunk and fled. The last trace of Joan was an ATM security camera picture of her taken on the night of June 26th. She was wearing oversized sunglasses in the picture, but a large bruise could be seen on her forehead. She's never been seen or heard from again. Richard Grissom Jr.'s fingerprints were inside Joan's car, as was his wallet, checkbook, and driver's license. The witness later stated she saw Grissom driving a rental vehicle on June 20th. An air pistol pellets and CO2 cartridges were found in the glove compartment of the vehicle, and a drop of Joan's blood was in the trunk. There was dust and gravel stuck to the underside of the Corsica and scratches on the vehicle, similar to those caused by branches and brush. Grissom was arrested in Texas on July 7, 1989. In 1990, he was convicted of murdering Joan and two other women, Teresa Brown and Christine Rush, roommates who disappeared from Lenexa on June 26, 1989. Grissom, who was also convicted of 8 charges related to the murders, was sentenced to 4 life terms in prison. He will not be eligible for parole until 2095. He's also a suspect in at least 2 other murders, but he's not been charged in those cases. He is a career criminal who committed his first murder at the age of 16. If you have any information regarding Joan's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Overland Park, Kansas Police Department at 913-895-6300 or KBI at 785-296-4017 or 1-800-572-7463. And at this point, we're basically looking for her remains. So here, just be wary of, when you're out in wooded areas or anywhere like that. I always try to remember to put up at the beginning of hunting seasons, whether it be morel mushroom or the hunting season in the fall for the other hunters, to be wary of your surroundings when you're out in those areas. To be watching for anything that doesn't look like it belongs there. It could be related to a missing person's case or something like that. So always ask people to be aware when they're out there. Of course, in situations like what we're having right now with flooding here and there, that could hamper things too. So, and this is the other two more of Grissom's victims. Christine A. Rush, missing from Lenexa, Kansas since June 26, 1989. 22 when she went missing, 58 years old now, 5'8", 105 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Teresa J. Brown, missing from Lenexa, Kansas, June 26, 1989. 22 when she went missing. She would now be 58, 5'4", 115 pounds, blonde or strawberry eyes, or hair, and blue eyes. Teresa Brown and her roommate, Christine Rush, were last seen in their apartment at, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Trafalgar Square in Lenexa, Kansas, on June 25th, 1989. The following day, Rush called Brown's employer and her own to state they would not be appearing at work as both of them were feeling sick. Neither woman has been heard from again. On June 28, 1989, authorities found John Grissom Jr.'s car parked with his belongings outside of an apartment complex in Grandview, Kansas. Brown and Rush's jewelry and credit cards were in the vehicle, as was the key to their apartment and the apartment of another local missing woman, Joan Butler. Grissom operated a painting company and, as a result, had master keys to many apartment complexes in the area. Grissom was arrested in Texas on July 7, 1989. Again, in 1990, he was convicted of murdering Brown, Rush, and Butler. Grissom was also convicted of 8 charges related to the murders, was sentenced to 4 life terms in prison. But he will not be eligible for parole until 2095. He's also a suspect in at least 2 other murders, but he's not been charged in those cases. He is a career criminal who committed his first murder at the age of 16. If you have any information regarding Teresa Brown and Christina Rush's disappearance, or you know of their whereabouts, please call the Lenexa, Kansas Police Department at 913-477-7330 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or 1-800-572-7463. And there again, we're more than likely looking for remains, so let's see what we can do to help get those found and back to their families so that they can lay them to rest properly. And as I mentioned last week, he also had victims in Wichita, Kansas as well. So he went from Wichita down to the Kansas City area, Lenexa, Overland Park. So he didn't just limit his crimes to that area. He traveled.
I was watching some YouTube video. There's like so many killers out there that the government knows. There's just there's like a FBI program from the 80s or something where they had found like so many serial killers that they had found and like convicted that were also truck drivers. So they started like a truck driving, because they're like, there's a lot of the truck drivers are just serial killers.
Oh yeah. What sparked that was there was a lot of bodies being found along highways between Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma. So they created what they call some kind of a truck driver serial killer initiative to try to see if they could tie these cases together and see if the same suspect was responsible for all of these or not. And I never heard what kind of results came out of it, but I know the FBI estimates that at any one time, they say there's at least 50 serial killers active across the country at any one time, which is a scary thought.
Yeah. They're out there, man.
And Terry says, KDOC shows the earliest possible release date for Grissom is October 6, 2093. He's currently 64, so he won't come out of there alive, probably. This one, we've covered her in the past, but I found a lot more information on her case, so I redid her flyer. Nori Oyakawa Jenkins, she's missing from Topeka, Kansas since July 20th, 1986. She was 51 when she went missing. She would now be 90. She's 5'2", 115 pounds, black and gray hair and brown eyes. She was diagnosed with mental illness and admitted to killing her 2 children, Linda, who was 3, and Doris, who was 23 months old. Nori, then 30, strangled her daughters to death in their Topeka home in January 1964. That's a lot of the new information I got was this part about the daughters and everything. But by March of that year, Jenkins was found not guilty by reason of insanity of the murder charges of her 2 daughters. She was committed to Topeka State Hospital. The Department of Justice says she walked away from that mental health hospital. She suffers from severe mental illness and needs medication. She can become violent when she does not take them. She was previously homeless and living under bridges. At the time of her disappearance, Nori was 51. She would now be 90, 5'2", weighs 115 pounds, black and gray hair and brown eyes, has a scar on her left eyebrow. At the time of her disappearance, Nori did not have any teeth or dentures. If you have any information regarding Nori's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can't do to get her located. Don't know whether she's still among us or not, but still be nice to get her located one way or the other. Rodney, as far as Grissom goes, last I saw was El Dorado, down there with BTK. Is where he's housed.
Sheesh.
See if my brother can confirm that since he pulled his KDOT. Terry, can you confirm that he's in El Dorado? That was the last thing that I had seen. And this is Andres Concepcion Garcia, missing from Topeka, Kansas, July 18th of this year. He's 19, 6 foot tall, 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Don't have any much more than that, unfortunately. But if you have any information regarding Andres' disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. I mean, yeah, okay. Yep, he's in El Dorado. Okay. Yep, he's down there with BTK. I doubt they speak or even see each other because last I knew BTK was in solitary and has been housed in solitary since he's been there. So
The last picture I saw of BTK, he did not look good.
no, he didn't. But interestingly, his daughter's been down to see him, try to get him to talk about these other cases I think he might be linked to, and she had made the comment that he is looking old and stuff like that. But when she started talking to him about his cases, his mind is still sharp as a tack. So physically, he may be deteriorating, but his mind is still very good. And my brother says BTK has a release date of 2180. He wants to see the outside alive, I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
I think that was the last one for cold cases, I believe.
All right. We'll go on to Missing and Endangered. Right back after this, you're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Go to patreon.com/KMU Live. Starting this week, there's going to be some goodies back there. We'll be right back after this.
Yeah, BTK is another interesting one. There's still a lot of victims they don't think that he's fessed up to, but don't know if they'll ever figure that out or not. This is Natalie Harry, missing out of Kansas City, Kansas since July 22nd, 2025. She's 14, 5'2", 175 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes, or blonde hair, brown eyes, excuse me. She does have serious mental health concerns, and she is without her medication. And she's 14, 5'2", 175 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Natalie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Natalie located and back to where she needs to be. And my brother's saying that BTK is now 80. Wow.
Yikes.
He's up there.
Well, he's been arrested for over 20 years, right?
I think so, yeah. I was still married when they arrested him.
Yeah, that was a long time ago he got arrested.
I've been divorced for 14 years now. This is Michaela Gore, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since July 21st, 2025. She's 17, 5'7", 210 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Michaela's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, 913-596-3000, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Michaela located and back to where she needs to be. Okay. This one is Logan Skyler Gatewood, missing from Topeka, Kansas since July 20th, 2025. 15 years old, 5'9" to 5'10", weighs between 120 and 130 pounds, brown hair, dyed auburn, blue eyes. Skyler is born male but identifies as female and prefers she, her pronouns. Skyler has mental health issues, is currently without her medication. Skyler has ties to Wichita, El Dorado, and Kansas City, Kansas. And Skyler's 15. She's 5'9" to 5'10", weighs between 120 and 130 pounds. She has brown hair that was last known to be dyed auburn with ridge showing and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Skyler's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department, 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Skylar located back to where she needs to be. It has been 20 years. He was admitted into prison August 19th, 2005, 2 days after he was sentenced. So, yeah, he's been in there 20 years. You were right.
Long time.
Yeah. And I do want to say something I've said before about these juveniles that were covering their cases. I was talking to a lady earlier that has a missing daughter, and I have a flyer up for her daughter. And she was asking me if I had any references in Texas that could share with the flyer down there in Texas. And I told her I would have to see what I could do, and I referred her to Texas EquiSearch, and she contacted them and got back with me a little while later and said they don't look for runaways. And I said, well, I don't agree with that, because yeah, they might be runaways, but as I have said in the past many, many times, we don't know if they ran of their own doing. We don't know if they ran because they were groomed or coerced into running. And I think that makes them definitely missing endangered, because we don't know that information. And I went to Texas EquiSearch's Facebook, and I commented on their post about standing with families until their missing loved ones are found. And I basically kind of reiterated that. And I also cited the case of Emily Pike in Arizona. That was a teen that ran from a group home. She was going to go meet a male that she had met. I don't know if it was online or not. And then she's going to hitchhike north to see her family. Well, she ended up not showing up anywhere. Filed a report as missing. And they eventually ended up finding her remains dismembered in trash bags, like off in a wooded area somewhere. So I cited that in the comments to Texas EquiSearch. They really need to rethink about not looking for runaways, because to me, missing is missing, regardless of whether they're a runaway or not. And just like I said, for the simple fact that we don't know if they ran of their own accord or if they were groomed or coerced into running. That information needs to be found out, whether they have to go through their computers, their phones, their online gaming, whatever, to find out that information. They need to look for that information, because there are teens that are getting hurt and getting trafficked and stuff because they're getting approached online by these people. So anyway, that's why I cover as many as I do, and make flyers for as many as I do, because to me, they are endangered because we don't know their circumstances or where they are, who they're with, what they're doing, if they're there voluntarily or not. But anyway, let's get back to the flyers here. And this is Hillary Hillibert, and we've covered her repeatedly, but we're going to keep doing it until she stays put. And she's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since July 20th, 2025. She's 16, 5'7" to 5'8", 130 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She does have nose piercings, I believe, on both sides of her nose, I believe. If you have any information regarding Hillary's disappearance, over whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to get her located and back to where she needs to be. And I wasn't even able to get a located safe on hers before she went missing again this time, so I have no idea. This is Zariah Winkler. She's another one missing out of Kansas City, Kansas since July 17, 2025. She is 14 years old, 5'4", 120 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. It's believed she may be with Kaylee O'Donnell, who's also considered a missing endangered runaway. Now, again, she's 14, 5'4", 120 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Zariah's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to get Zariah located and back to where she needs to be. And here is Kaylee O'Donnell, which we have had a couple other instances where we've covered her before in the past. And she's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since July 17, 2025. She's 17, 4'11" to 5'1", weighs between 140 and 157 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. Believes that she might be with Zariah Winkler, who we just covered. is also considered a missing endangered runaway. Kaylee is 17, 4'11", 5'1", weighs between 140 and 157 pounds. Has black hair and brown eyes. She has a tattoo of a mushroom on her forearm and a tattoo of the letters AC on her finger. If you have any information regarding Kaylee's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Kaylee located and back to where she needs to be as well. And this is Abel Cunningham. We've covered him in the past, and he's out there missing again from Bel Air, Kansas since July 13th, 2025. He's 14, 5'4", 80 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. If you have any information regarding Abel's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Bel Air, Kansas Police Department at 316-744-6000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Abel located and back to where he needs to be. And Roxanne says she has a connection in Texas and she will contact them and will also give them my contact information. Thank you, Roxanne. I greatly appreciate that because this gal's daughter is believed to be missing with two other young ladies, and I have flyers up for all three. We covered them last week, and I should have got them on the show again tonight, but I didn't. But because I've already got over 20 cases this week, so. But yeah, I will definitely. Yeah, if they can contact me, I'll give them all three flyers. I don't know if they're still together or not, but I'll definitely supply them with all three just in case.
Well, now next segment, out-of-state cases. We'll be right back after this. Got about 15 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, this is one my brother actually talked to me about doing on the show this week. So I got her flyer updated and got it going again. It was Angela Marie Hammond, missing from Clinton, Missouri since April 4th, 1991. She was 19 when she went missing. She's now 54, 4'11", weighs between 120 and 140 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was talking to her fiance, Rob Schaefer, at a telephone booth in a parking lot outside of the Food Barn store in the center of town in the area of Jefferson Street and 2nd Street. Angela told him that she was too tired to meet with him as planned and she would go to their home and take a bath instead. She also told him a suspicious man circling the parking lot in his old truck. Angela described him as a filthy bearded man. She said he had parked his truck near the booth and got out of it with a flashlight as if he were looking for something. Suddenly, Schaefer heard Angela scream, and the line went dead, and her car was later found abandoned in the parking lot. Schaefer immediately drove to the phone booth, and on the way there, he passed a late 1960s or early 70s model green Ford F-150 truck, heard Angela scream his name, Rob. Schaefer followed the vehicle for about a mile on 2nd Street and Culver Drive, but his own car's transmission failed, and he had to stop driving. Now, the reenactment that I saw on Unsolved Mystery showed that when he passed the vehicle, he tried to whip around real fast to continue following, and the transmission went out. Schaefer stated the truck he saw had a decal of water or an outdoor scene completely covering the rear window, possibly a white top and possible damage to its left front fender. Witnesses reported seeing a Caucasian male driving a similar truck near the telephone booth at the time Angela disappeared. The man, who's never been identified, was wearing coveralls and a dark-colored baseball cap. He had eyeglasses, a beard, and a mustache. If you have any information regarding Angela's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Clinton, Missouri Police Department at 660-885-5561 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422 and see if we can help get Angela located and back to where she needs to be. And Rodney says, really depressing thinking that both BTK and Grissom are living to a ripe old age. Yeah, definitely. This one's Sarah Burton, another one out of Missouri. out of Joplin, Missouri, missing since July 16, 2018. She was 28 when she was missing, now 35. 5'7", 170 pounds, light brown hair, blue eyes. Sarah was dropped off in the vicinity of 10th Street and Rex Avenue in Joplin. Based on information developed by investigators, Sarah was actually last seen later that same morning at her residence in the northwest part of Joplin. Investigators would not disclose the location or the address of the residence and could not be more specific about the time of the sighting without possibly jeopardizing the investigation, they said. And at the time of her disappearance, Sarah was 28. She would now be 35. She's 5'7", weighs 170 pounds, has light brown hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a purple and white blouse, jeans, and black flats. Excuse me. If you have any information regarding Sarah's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Joplin, Missouri Police Department at 417-623-3131, extension 1620. Dry cough. Or 417-623-3131. After hours, or the FBI Kansas City, Missouri field office at 816-512-8200. The FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the individual or individuals responsible for the disappearance of Sarah Burton.
You all right, bro?
Mm-hmm. Just my throat drying out. See if that'll help. The Hammond case is just haunting, especially if you've ever seen the Unsolved Mysteries segment. Once you see it, you'll, yeah. My brother commented that. It's very true. He says, once you see it, you'll never forget it. I haven't watched it for a very long time, but I can recall most of it. Okay, who's next?
I was just making sure you were going to live, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I just, my throat dried out a little bit. Let's see. Where is Brister? I thought I pulled her. Nope. Let me go grab her flyer real quick.
Okay.
Take me 2 shakes. Just give me a second here. I went down the whole list and was pulling them one by one. How did I miss her? How did I indeed miss her? On the next Unsolved Mysteries. Okay, this is Kylie Brister, missing from Kansas City, Missouri. We've covered her before, and she was missing out of Kansas the last time. But she was been missing since July 16, 2025. She's 14, 5'6", 156 pounds, black hair, blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Kylie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. See if we can't get Kylie located and back to where she needs to be. Oh yeah, Robert Stack did an awesome job of hosting Unsolved Mysteries. He had the perfect voice for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Andrew Nicholas France, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since April 20th, 2023. He's 31 when he was missing. He's now 33. 5'11", 175 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. The day he left the Sedalia, Missouri residence, he had been driving a white 2019 Ford Escape with the Florida license plate AV13NF. Later in the day at 4:26 p.m., he got a traffic citation from the police in Kansas City. He's never been heard from again. On April 24th, 2023, his vehicle was found in a Taco Bell parking lot in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, and towed, but there was no sign of him at the scene. His wallet and 2 important hoodies were missing from his vehicle. Since his disappearance, there's been no activity on his food stamp card or social media accounts. He has a tattoo on his neck of a mountain scene and a bighorn sheep in black and gray ink, a tattoo of an angel in black ink on his left shoulder, tattoos of writing on both forearms, and tattoos on his hands. And I've got a few of them down there at the bottom there. Last known to be wearing a blue t-shirt with an American flag, blue jeans, dark gray Skechers shoes, and a baseball cap. If you have any information regarding Andrew's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Excelsior Springs, Missouri Police Department at 816-630-2000 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. and see what we can do to get him located and back to where he needs to be. All right. And Dana Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. 23 when she was missing. She's now 40. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia, Missouri. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and the police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her again after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush, toothbrush. She doesn't have credit cards, debit card, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And she was 23 when she went missing. She's now 40. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine, a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or toll free at 866-362-6422. Or Private Investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070, and see what we can do to get Dana located and back to where she needs to be. And Zane Kelly, hey Dad, how you doing? Zane, how you doing? And this is the one that I was referring to that I did earlier that is a potential trafficking case, and this one's out of Stockton, California. This is Heaven Millie Desiree McGee, missing from Stockton, California since January 20th, 2025. 21 she's been missing. She's now 21, 5 foot tall, 140 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And she was last seen in Oakland, California on January 17th, 2025. She was seen again on January 20th, 2025 in a commercial corridor in Stockton, California, but she has not been seen or heard from since. The FBI says based on evidence gathered in Heaven's case, they believe she was being trafficked and is the reason why she was in the Stockton area. Heaven has ties to Oakland, Stockton, and San Jose, California. And she was 20 when she went missing. She's now 21, 5 foot tall, weighs 140 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a white jacket, a black shirt, and brown pants, according to the police. She has the following tattoos: the word Aaron Pryor above her red rose below her left collarbone, unknown words just above her left calf and right collarbone, at least 4 butterfly tattoos on her chest sternum, possible Chinese characters on her left forearm just above her wrist, and the words Darius 3 on her right forearm. If you have any information regarding Heaven's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Oakland, California Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 510-238-3641, or the FBI's toll-free tip line at 800-225-5324, or your local law enforcement agency. FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the location of Heaven Desiree McGee. So let's see what we can do to help get her located and back to where she needs to be, especially if she's got caught up in a human trafficking situation. See if we can help get her out of it. And like I said, that's the one that caught my eye today, and I wanted to get her out there. And this is, I think you skipped one, didn't you?
No, I did Dana, then I did this one. And this is the next. There's this one after this.
Oh, okay. Let's do Sebastian real quick.
Okay.
Okay, this is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee since February 26, 2024. He was 15 when he was missing. He's now 16, 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Sebastian was discovered missing when his mother went to his room to wake him up for school. Sebastian, who has high functioning autism, is described by his mother as being very smart and not mischievous child by any means. Sebastian has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. A landfill in Kentucky was searched for Sebastian with nothing found. On February 27, 2024, the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, issued an Amber Alert based on additional investigative information developed during the search. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Sebastian was 15. He's now 16, 5'5", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. He does wear eyeglasses. His last night to be wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants. He was also carrying a flashlight. If you have any information regarding Sebastian's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Sumner County, Tennessee Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-824-3463. Dwayne Dog Chapman, allied with At Night and standing for Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is offering a $447,000 reward for information securing the safe return of 16-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers or the capture and conviction of those behind his disappearance. So there's that. So if anybody has any information on Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, I know this is Kansas Missing and Unsolved, but we do get shared across the country. So if anybody out there has any information on his case, please get it into authorities as quick as you can. See if we can't get Sebastian located and back to where he needs to be.
Wow.
And this one I just did today as well. Talked with her mom a little bit. This is Adriana Drew. It was Bussey or Busey. Missing from Carthage, Missouri since July 17, 2025. She's 17. 5'1", 160 pounds, brown hair with red and blonde highlights and brown eyes. She left her car and her cell phone behind. Again, she's 17, 5'1", weighs 160 pounds, brown hair that has red and blonde highlights and brown eyes. Her ears and her right nostril are pierced. And I've noticed in several pictures, sometimes she has a stud in that right side and sometimes she has a hoop. She was last seen wearing a white shirt and red and black pajama pants. Security camera photo up there on the top right. If you have any information regarding Adriana's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Carthage, Missouri Police Department at 417-237-7200 or 417-359-9100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And see what we can do to get Adriana located and back to where she needs to be.
And is this other one a flyer? Or?
Yeah, this is one. I went ahead and decided to use this one because the one that I did, I was told had a lot of inaccurate stuff on it that was found out later by his sister. And she supplied me with this flyer to use instead. So I will I'm going to try to bounce off of mine for some information and off of this one for other information and see how this goes. This is Alex Michael Kruk, missing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin since July 17, 2020. Was 33 when he missing. He's now 38, 6 foot tall, 175 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And see, Alex Kruk, he frequented both north and south sides of Milwaukee, was last known to be at Palmero's Manufacturing Warehouse at 3301 West Canal Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the first week of August 2020. He took the shuttle from 2217 South First Street in Milwaukee to Palmero's Warehouse. He has lived his entire life in Wisconsin. There's no evidence that he left the area. He was in daily contact with friends and family. It's uncharacteristic for him to be silent. All of these years, he deserves to be found, and his family deserves answers no matter what happened to him. If you have any information regarding his disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7405. There is also a Facebook page that's being ran by his sister, And I alluded to the name of it in the comments a little bit ago. Where did I see it? It is, I saw it just a little bit ago in the comments. Where did it go? I'm looking for it because she said hi, and I said hi back. So I'm looking for it, but it, where in the world did it go? Bring Alex Kruk home. There it is. I had to scroll a ways up to find it. Bring Alex Kruk home is the Facebook page.
Nice.
So anybody has any information on his case, again, it's up there in Michigan or Wisconsin. Excuse me, Wisconsin. Sorry, wrong state. Get that information in the Milwaukee Police Department. Again, 414-935-7405. And let's see if we can help get him located. And was that the last one?
Last one.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of cases tonight.
Yeah, not too bad though. We only went
Trying not to go too far
6 or 7
overboard.
minutes over.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it's just, like I say, I just really feel like that these runaways don't get enough attention because people feel like, oh, they're just runaways. But, that may have worked, 40, 50, 60 years ago before internet and online gaming and cell phones and all that. But, like I say, without the information of whether or not they ran on their own accord or if they were groomed or coerced into running, needs to be taken seriously. These kids' lives matter, and they need to be made important enough to look for and find, and to help them figure out what's going on that they keep running, and try to help them overcome that so they'll stop running and stay put. It's just crazy. So, even though I do a flyer that says this person is a missing endangered runaway, still share the heck out of those flyers so we can get these kids found. They may run again and again and again, but, I'm going to keep making flyers until, they decide they're going to stop, because they need to know somebody cares enough to want to see them found and want to see them get help and make their lives better. And running is not going to do it, not by any stretch. I realize that some may be trying to get away from abusive situations, but there's other ways to do it. Go to somebody you trust, like a teacher, the police department. If you're in foster care, a caseworker. Anybody. If you're a juvenile and you have a guardian ad litem, go to them. Basically, a guardian ad litem is a juvenile attorney, is what that is. Both my daughters, when we were doing foster care for my daughters, they both had a guardian ad litem. So. Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy to see these kids running again and again and again and again. And I can tell you, I know for a fact, I've been doing Kansas Missing and Unsolved, the page, for 13 years. And within that 13 years that I know of, now I know there's probably more that I haven't heard about, but that I know of, there's been at least 8 young ladies that when they were found, they were being actively trafficked. So it does happen. And they were all runaways, every single one of them. So share the flyers, get them out there, print them off, post them wherever you can so they can be seen. I encourage everybody to do that with every missing person flyer. Because I'll tell you why. There was a young lady who was missing in El Dorado, Kansas, and I did a flyer for her. And I cannot remember how much time had passed, but I had somebody message me one day, and I verified it that she was taken off KBI and stuff. But they messaged me one day and said that she had been located. She had turned herself in because somebody had taken the time to print the flyer and plaster it all over El Dorado. And she turned herself in because she was tired of seeing her face everywhere she went. So the flyers do work. So share them, share the show, share the flyers, share the page. Let people know we're out there and what we're doing. It works. Okay. Enough of me ranting. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching the show tonight and going over these flyers with us and stuff tonight. And I just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we could do this. It means a great deal every week to be able to sit and do this with these folks, and just really hoping we're making a difference out there. And just pray that the folks that that see the show and see the flyers will do the right thing and make the calls that they need to make to get that information and to help get these people found. And if, we're covering unsolved homicides, these murders solved and people brought to justice for it, I just pray that they do. And until we see each other next week, I just want to say, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and amen.
And